Have you ever thought that Yu-Gi-Oh has too many rules? What if I told you there was a version of the game that only has 13 standard rules? It is a little more complex than that, but the Bandai game is the first iteration of Yu-Gi-Oh, which more closely resembles the Duel Monsters arc in the anime. This is prior to the introduction of the expert rules in the Battle City arc, which is closer to the current game. The Bandai game also takes a lot from the standard card game War, but I think I should go ahead and get started with the basic rules, going through them in order. The game doesn't need a rulebook, as the standard rules are printed on the actual cards, which I think is pretty interesting. Rule 1. Both players must use the same number of cards as their decks, which I think means that the decks need to be the same size. Rule 2. Draw 5 cards from your deck to form your hand, just like in the main game. Rule 3. Select one monster card from your hand and play it to start a battle. This is in line with what they do in the first appearance of Duel Monsters in the manga. Rule 4. To determine the result of a battle, compare the attack of the attacking monster with the defense of the attacked monster. This is in contrast to the attack and defense positions in the main game, and instead is closer to how damage is calculated in Magic the Gathering. Rule 5. If your monster's attack is higher, your opponent's monster is destroyed. But then, Rule 6. Even if you destroy the opponent's monster, if the defense of your monster is lower than the attack of the opponent's monster, your monster is also destroyed. There is an implied discard pile for destroyed monsters, although the existence of it is not explicitly stated in these simple rules. Rule 7. When the battle ends, draw one card from your deck, and then you can end your turn. Rule 8. Each turn will continue like this until both players' decks are empty, which leads directly into Rule 9. Each player counts the total level stars of all monsters that are destroyed. The player with the highest amount is declared the winner. There are more card types than just monsters, though. Rule 10. If you have spell, trap, or equip cards in your hand, you can put them into play face down. Note that equip cards are not a subcategory of spell cards. Rule 11. You can activate face down spell, trap, or equip cards at any time during a battle. I presume this means in the same turn they are set face down, but maybe not. Rule 12. When the effect of a spell, trap, or equip card is used, it is discarded. And then, Rule 13. When the player's deck is empty, the duel will continue until the other player's deck is empty as well. I believe the way the rules are written can lead to problems when one player does not draw a monster and has a handful of equip cards, but I don't think the game is meant to be taken too seriously. On top of the basic rules, some cards have special rules, like Exodia, which has pretty much the same effect as in the main game. Dragon Capture Jar, on the other hand, is a monster and can beat any dragon in battle, which is pretty cool. Then there are character cards, which do have stars, but do not have attack or defense points. Instead, they have special rules outlining the results of a battle concerning them. Yamayugi looks broken because he wins every battle, and I am not sure if he stays on the battlefield after being played or is discarded like a spell, trap, or equip card. I am assuming these are single use. Seto Kaiba, with the Season 0 green hair, wins when battling monsters, but loses to any other character, including Tristan, who always loses. And then this character Melody has such a weird card text. As for Melody, if the opponent's card has 5 or more stars, then Melody wins. If it has 4 or less, then she loses pitifully. It reminds me of the card Power Overwhelming from Hearthstone, with a little flavor sneaking into the rules text. Those are the basics of the Bandai game. Nowadays, the set is pretty rare, with the cards fetching high prices online. I also don't think that the game has been extensively playtested or properly balanced, and I imagine that there is a dominant strategy, since there has been over 20 years to solve the game. But, to me, it is still fun history at least. I'm not sure if the licensing agreements would ever let this happen, but I think that the Bandai cards should be revisited for more lost artwork cards, because I really enjoy the older style. Maybe that is wishful thinking, but I can't be the only one.